Hey, thank you for listening to Reversing Climate Change. This is Ross Kenyon. I am the host of the podcast. I did a recent episode with my friend Tom Mills. Somehow we ended up talking about what I mean somehow. I brought up the fact that something he said made me think of the song that I originally heard from Monty Python and Did Those Feet in Ancient Times, which Tom Mills very eruditely pointed out is a poem called Jerusalem, ultimately by William Blake. William Blake is a poet, early romantic, British poet. His work pops up in film and television a decent amount. There are lines that get quoted quite a bit. I originally heard the famous lines from Auguries of Innocence by William Blake and Dead Man by Jim Jarmusch, which is a really amazing film that you should see. I actually saw it in a film theory class years and years ago in undergraduate years because it's considered to be a revisionist Western, where in most films with cowboys and Indians, the cowboys are the good civilizing force and the Indians or Native Americans are the sort of like bad savages who are preventing civilization from advancing. And Dead Man is a really cool film because it flips it. A white quote unquote civilization is a toxic presence that is encroaching and corrupting. And it's actually the indigenous way of life that is the thing to be preserved here. I really loved that flip, and it's a beautiful film. Neil Young does the score, Johnny Depp. It's a good film. And the famous lines, if you don't already know, I'll read it for you. This is from Auguries of Innocence, which is only a small part of this poem. Every morn and every night, some are born to sweet delight. Some are born to sweet delight. Some are born to endless night. More recently, and outside of Dead Man, you probably associate this with Westworld, and this is sort of the leitmotif of the entire show. The thematic core of the show that some beings are meant to suffer, are born into a system that causes them to suffer, and some are born into one that provides them with pleasure, often at the expense of those who are experiencing endless night. The endless night is dependent upon the sweet delight, at least in a show like Westworld. And one thing I like about William Blake is that his poetry is so earnest. It often feels very simple. The rhymes are not complicated. Auguries of Innocence is a complex poem and there's a lot to it, but at least superficially, it doesn't have a lot of technical chops to it. I don't feel like it's intentionally obscure. I don't feel like it's doing a bunch of fancy footwork meant to throw you off or something that requires the close reading of modernist poetry or something like that. It's very straightforward. And you'll see what I mean here. This poem is Jerusalem, also known as And Did Those Feet in Ancient Time by William Blake. And did those feet in ancient time walk upon England's mountains green? And was the holy Lamb of God on England's pleasant pastures seen? And did the countenance divine shine forth upon our clouded hills? And was Jerusalem builded here among these dark satanic mills? Bring me my bow of burning gold. Bring me my arrows of desire. Bring me my spear, O clouds unfold. Bring me my chariot of fire. I will not cease from mental fight, nor shall my sword sleep in my hand, till we have built Jerusalem in England's green and pleasant land. Fairly simple poem in many ways. Strong contrast between a mythological vision where there's artifacts that have spiritual power, there's weapons, a bow of burning gold, it shoots arrows of desire, war fighting, and of conquering. And of course, William Blake is observing England during the Industrial Revolution, who's looking at England's land being transformed into something that was this bucolic, old English. You watch something like Downton Abbey, ignore the class dynamics and all of that for a second, but you think about what rural life is like, at least for those who enjoy such a thing. And it has the slower pace of life that's connected to the natural world. And then staring at the dark satanic mills where people are working very long hours doing repetitive, dangerous tasks. And William Blake is declaring war upon it. And he also links it to building a new Jerusalem. You'll rebuild the temple. This is the end times. And anytime that we're talking about building Jerusalem, there is a sense of the apocalypse of a new world being born. And what a short, effective poem this is. It has Christian eschatology in it, apocalyptic thinking. It's an apocalyptic poem. Often he's got a lot of those. It's where dark Satanic Mills comes from. Everyone knows this phrase. It's very, very common. And is it any surprise that this is sort of a national British hymn that people listen to, connection to land, and it's people lamenting our disconnection from nature, the old pastoral, bucolic, agrestic ways of being. So in case you were not familiar with that poem, here it is. That was Jerusalem and Did Those Feet in Ancient Time by William Blake. Hope you enjoyed, and have a wonderful rest of your day with or without any more poetry that you add to it.